MIGMATIS Golf wishes Uncle Char a happy birthday and lots of birdies. Happy birthday to you!
Hey tourists, MIGMATIS Golf going with a quick, really quick tips and tricks video. So I was working on this the other day and I'd forgotten about this drill, so going back to it really helped me out. Transition is one of the most misunderstood or the hardest parts of the golf swing to get down, okay? If you don't get it right, it's a bit like the beginning of the swing. It just sets up a chain reaction and you can't recover from that. It's going to be a bad swing, bad shot. So it's one of those crossroads that's really important. A bit like the beginning, first couple of feet of the takeaway, that's really important, but also the transition from backswing to downswing. Now, a lot of amateurs, myself included, kind of reinforce a bad habit when we practice. Well, if I just demonstrate, what we tend to do is we tend to practice our backswing and we kind of stop to check where we are. Now, okay, it's all very well and good, except that once you stop up there, it's very difficult from that position to start the sequence properly. As you know, the golf swing is just a chain reaction, a flow of events. And so it's very difficult to break it down into little pieces like that by stopping. You want a real fluid motion so that it all happens naturally. Now, at some point you've got to check where your hands are and your club shaft and the club face and all that at the top of your backswing. It's very easy to do it on video, but very difficult to do it in a static position, because you can't just stop and then go again in the golf swing. Very difficult to do. So what I suggest, and what works quite well, is if when you practice your backswing you incorporate the beginning of the transition into it and then stop. Things have already started to fire, so it's much easier to just let them go from there. But more importantly, it is teaching your body to fire the correct muscles at the beginning of the transition, and then you can stop and check what's going on, and then you're not reinforcing a bad habit. So I suggest that when you're practicing your backswing, you make a nice backswing, start the transition. So you start your hips going, check the position, make sure the shaft is okay, make sure your arms are okay. Practice that way. View the beginning of the transition as part of your backswing, okay? Just think of it that way. This is how I'm going to practice. That's it. I started firing my hips, my shoulders haven't turned, but I check the shaft, okay? And from there I can carry on firing the hips and let everything drop. So from the front view, instead of stopping there and checking it, very difficult from there to go again without going with the top half first. I'm just going to incorporate that little transition or the shift or the start of the hips into the backswing. And then I look back and check. If you do it like that every time, you're just reinforcing a really good sequencing behavior that will really help you out. Okay, try it. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments. Subscribe to the channel. Tell all your buddies. And I think this possibly is the shortest video I've ever made. All right, MIGMATIS Golf signing off. See you later, peeps.